Good morning, YouTube. Louie here with the best silver gold deals of Saturday, June 21st, 2025. Let's go look at the damage. Okay, we had gold holding its own yesterday, closing down 4 to 3,367. 33.50, I think, was about the low. Maybe 33.40 here. Let's see, and silver down 45 cents to 35.95. Okay, under 36 on the bid. And we have silver futures below spot for June at 35.77. July 35.95, similar to spot. And then moving up through August and September. I understand that July is a delivery month. So we'll have to see what happens with that. There should be quite a few deliveries with spot prices dropping here. In the gold-silver ratio, we decided 90 was too low, and it's popped back up to 93.55, with silver taking a pretty good hit yesterday. I would still say 94 is where it stops, but could go back to 97 if this move continues. All right, in the 10-year, 10-year is right around flat at 4.377. And the U.S. dollar, interesting here, U.S. dollar 98.77, down just a little bit in the face of worldwide instability. But some people are saying the dollar may have bottomed for at least for a while here. Before it continues its downtrend. And that's very possible. We could get a bounce in the dollar, which would be negative for silver. Matter of fact, there are a couple of negatives coming up. Let's go back to spot price and silver. And I think gold at 33.50 is a good buy. Now, there are articles calling for sub $3,000 gold from one investment banker, and there are other articles coming out for $4,000 gold from another investment banker. Just various opinions. I wouldn't put much credence on people predicting lower gold prices here, and I think there'll be solid support at 33.50. If it goes lower, I think that's a buying opportunity. For silver, wait a minute. Let me go back for a second. The other thing that's coming up with gold is we've got Basel III coming up, I think, on July 1st. Now, often that can be a buy the rumor, sell the news kind of situation. So you could see a rally into July 1 for gold and then a drop after. And then, of course, silver could move with sympathy to gold. For silver, we are moving up on the end of the month, okay? So that could put a little pressure, as we often see lower prices as manipulators, in my opinion, try to drop the price on the monthly chart. But that does not negate the breakout here above 35. And I think you've got an excellent entry point anywhere in the 35s here on silver, moving forward for your long-term stack. But, could we see a higher dollar? Could we see some manipulation from all those shorts that are in the market? I think I heard that it's the second highest short position there has ever been in the silver market. We could see that, and we could see a little lower prices towards the end of the month. And I think you could be accumulating in here in the 35s. And I wouldn't be afraid to buy above 35. If we break below 35 convincingly, then we could be headed lower. But I don't think that will happen because I think demand is still quite high, industrial demand. Why do I say that? Well, we go over to the copper chart and you can see copper is robust here, up 3 cents yesterday, although silver dropped quite a bit. 487 in the copper market. Okay, and of course, but the dollar bouncing, that could put a headwind on copper and silver. You'll have to decide what you think about that for the short term. In the economic calendar, on Monday, we have S&P Flash PMI, existing home sales. Tuesday, Case-Shiller Home Price Index, consumer confidence, which has been somewhat weak lately. And Fed Powell on the Hill talking about how he's afraid of tariffs and he doesn't want to lower interest rates because he thinks inflation will take a short-term pop here. I think that's all hooey. I think he can't lower interest rates because if he does, he can't sell his bonds. And got a lot of bonds coming up for sale. At some point, attention will turn off of war and turn back to the failing budget proposals and the increasing deficit and debt load on the United States. And I think there are just a number of negatives ready to hit this market. But right now, we're focused on war, and the markets were happy that we had a 2-week delay in any aggressive activity on the U.S.'s part. Okay, on Wednesday, we have new home sales. On Thursday, we have initial jobless claims. So, yeah, still the big movers are probably a little far off in the future. I will say that when silver flatlines like it did on a big sell-off day, there's often a leg two down the next trading day. That could mean Sunday night or Monday morning we could see a further dip in silver and or gold. Yeah, I might hold off buying here, but honestly, anywhere in the 35s on silver or 33.50 on gold's probably a pretty good entry point with potential a little bit of downside on Monday. If major, conflict breaks out or it escalates, then gold could pop. But gold is not popping anymore, which leads me to believe that the majority of the move is over for right now. Nonetheless, 33.50 be a good entry point, and we could see 34, 3,500. But I think gold's upside is a little bit limited here since it has made its move, and silver is just starting to make its move. If you're only going to buy one, I would buy silver today. Okay, and the question of the day. Well, this is spurred by a comment in the chat room, and you can get over there. The link's at the top and the bottom of my website, bestsilvergolddeals.com. And the question was, how do you handle tax reporting if you have received a 1099-B from the sale of silver or gold? Okay, well, that was his question, and the answer is, talk to your CPA about that. But you are going to have to report those gains. You're going to have to declare your basis, and you're going to have to pay tax on the sale of your silver and gold. The question is, has anybody in the listening audience here ever received a 1099 from the sale of silver or gold? And if you did, how did that happen? Why did that happen? And I might even say, why did you let that happen? Maybe you didn't understand the rules. Maybe you are just such a heavy hitter that you had to sell $100,000 of silver buffaloes or Krugerrands, or there are various tax reporting limits on generic and foreign silver, gold, platinum. And then there are advantages to gold eagles and silver eagles, for example, that don't initiate tax reporting. But if you ever got a 1099 on the sale of bullion, and I'm not talking about eBay sales and so forth, I'm talking about, you sold a fair amount of silver or gold and they sent you a 1099, triggering the IRS to follow you, watch you, and expect you to report your gains and potentially audit you. So obviously that is not a happy situation. So how did that happen to you, if it did? And if it did, I'm sorry that happened to you, but help us out here and let us know what scenario led you to do it that way. Okay, that's what I'd like to know, and of course we all try to avoid that at all costs. All right, before we get on to the deals, a little update on the fishing trip yesterday, and yeah, we got out there. It was beautiful at the lake, and we were fishing for catfish. Anyway, my son got a couple of bites and was reeling one up, and his reel broke, which was a pain in the butt. So I'm in the market for a new freshwater fishing reel. Yeah, that was a bummer. Yeah, I had a catfish on the line, but he lost it, and I got nothing. I gave him my pole after that, and he fished with my pole. Okay, let's get going here. And what do we got? Oh, it's the same old, same old. The gold is all about the same. I think I'll just skip over it this morning and go to the silver. The silver ought to be quite a bit cheaper. Let's see. We got silver eagles at $39.76 for BU eagles. at Bullion exchanges, 39.56 in a tube of 20, and we've been beating that on eBay, so I'll keep going here. You can get off-quality Eagles in a tube of 20 for 38.34 from Pinehurst, and those have been pretty good from the reports. My caution light is on. I'm a little skeptical about, now through the end of the month, but I'm also very positive that we are in a new trading range here above 35 on silver and probably headed to 50. So, I think time is short to get on that train. And could you wait a week? Yeah, I think you could. Maybe a month, but I sure wouldn't wait a long time to pick up your silver if you don't have any, or you just want to get started. Okay, let's do a silver maple. Silver maple is going for 38 at Monument Metals, and actually all the maples, kangaroos, Britannia's, Krugerrands, Philharmonics, they're all going to be around that 38 mark, which will give you about a $2 and change premium this morning. Maybe cheaper on eBay, we will check. And there's some discussion about maples in the chat room as well, and how Canadian sellers are sometimes charging tariffs. So I haven't checked in on the tariff story lately, but could be the Canada tariffs had kicked in, and there is something about wanting to keep your order under $1,000. I don't know about that, but you can ask in the chat room if you want to see more about that. Okay, let's move on. We know the Libertads are pretty pricey here. Another question, I called this a boondoggle on the Superman coin over at the U.S. Mint. Hopefully you got your Army Privy Eagle and you didn't get your order canceled. So that is the hot coin, way hotter than the Superman coin. And you can subscribe to get 5 of these if you want. The thing that's disappointing is it's unlimited mintage. Now, sometimes they mint to order or they stop production. I don't know. I think they're going to just mint this till the cows come home. It'll be popular. The price is too high at 135. So I'm thinking this is not a good flip, but I could be wrong about that. There could be a lot of excitement, and probably only if they go out of stock. The question would be, do you want to take a run at that and hope that they go out of stock or they limit production? But this is their focus, these kinds of coins going forward, because the profit margin is, it's infinity over a Silver Eagle. Silver Eagles, they're not supposed to make any profit, although I think they do. Maybe $1, but something like a Superman coin, the profit is $100. So they could literally make 100,000 of these and make more profit than they make on the entire Silver Eagle program. And that's where they're headed. They're headed to semi-numismatics, obviously. But my jury's out for me on Superman here. Okay, let's keep going, and let me know what you think about that. Like I said, I'm right on the fence. There are way better things coming out in the near future. You may want to save your money for at the U.S. Mint. And here we got on Costco. I think we had a little price drop. That's what I'm told anyway. We got silver at $3.99 for a 10-ounce bar. A PAMP gold bar, $34.39, 4% off on that. 2% with your executive club membership, which costs $130. And hopefully you got a 2% rebate credit card, something like that. You get 4% off. You'll be under spot on this PAMP bar and right around spot on the Buffalo. And oh my gosh, look at this. We got PAMP Buffaloes out. I didn't notice that. Sure wish I had been buying those platinum bars when they had them. Let's see, we got 20 pack of PAMP Buffaloes. That's an upscale Buffalo round. And that would be 38 a coin and probably about $36.75 out the door. Oh, maybe $1 over spot after rebates for these PAMP Buffaloes. And that's not a bad deal, but it's not necessarily a smoking deal either. Let's try to find something better. So that is Costco. Junk is still right around spot at Hero Bullion. I think you can find it cheaper on eBay every day. And if we want to look at Golden State Mint, their sale today is $37.05. So there's $1 over on Buffaloes at Golden State Mint. $3.70 on a 10-ounce bar. That's not too bad. And no Buffaloes here. There's some copper. Okay, let's keep moving. And what else we got? Let's go right to the kilo. And the kilo is 1,194 for a random kilo bar. A kilo coin from Perth Mint, pardon me, is 1,226 at SD Bullion, and you may get a scratch capsule if you pick that up, and you can complain about that and get them to replace it. Okay, we are over on eBay. We'll try to find the best deals anywhere we can, and we're going to use our 3% rebate credit cards here. Links on my website to what those cards are. There's a pocket pinger for 35 bucks, and Silver Eagles. What do we got in the Silver Eagle category? Are people panicking and selling their Silver Eagles? This guy is still here at $39.90, about $38.90 out the door. Those are going to be toned. The same deals we had yesterday. I mean, you'll probably save about $1 on Eagles if you have a 3% rebate credit card in a big lot. 40, 39 out the door. Again, you'll probably save about $1 on these big orders here. I don't think you should be paying more than $3 over for Silver Eagles, and when we can get them for $2 over, I think that is a screaming buy. Okay, let's go on to the rotation. Silver Maples as cheap as $9.80. Silver Philharmonics. Why did I do that? Hold on, I got to go back to square one here. Silver Britannia's as cheap as $9.77. Silver Kangaroos as cheap as $9.91. And Silver Krugerrands as cheap as $9.79. Krugerrands might be the better deal. Not as good as I would like. Philharmonics are going to be about 38 a coin, about 37 out the door. That's about $1 over spot for the Philharmonics. Not too bad there. You'll beat the dealers on that price. Let's do junk in a small lot. $10 face junk. See if anything good pops up this morning. $10 face, Washington Quarters, 24.5. There must be shipping on that. Let's see. It is a good seller, good feedback. $8 shipping puts you at $2.53. And you'll be at about 240, 24.5 times face out the door. 24.5 times face. 24.5. Let's check that to my cheat sheet. 24.5 on junk is going to put you at, there it is, pretty cheap. 24.5 will put you at about 34.50. Melt? Whoa, that is really cheap. Why so cheap? You are in town. You're a good seller. 600 feedback, 100% positive. They're Washington Quarters, $10 face, and you're going to be about $1.50 under spot, and that is a smoke. Oh, look, he's got a slick walker in there. Okay, we'll let him get away with that. But that looks good. What else you got? Well, I suggest you get into his store. He's dumping his silver cheap. Now, he's selling at $1.50 under spot, but the dealer probably offered him $3 under spot. So maybe that's why he's doing it. We got any more good deals? $2.59 plus $5. That's about the same price from Big Seller. Good feedback. These are Rosies. Very nice. Dimes over quarters. I don't know. I think I'd like that. They look righteous. There's another good deal. Way under spot. Okay, we're doing good on the small lots. Anybody giving away anything really cool? Let's see if Grandpa's in here. Oh, we got walkers at $2.73. No. I wouldn't pay up that much. Let's get on to big junk. Today's the day to buy junk, I guess. And holes, culls, we don't want. No dates, we don't want. We want dates. We want dates. 26.44, about 25.75 out the door. That's consistent with the dealer. So the small lot is the better lot on the junk. Snap those up, guys. Going a little bleary-eyed this morning. Got too much sun yesterday. Let's do a kilo. What is the cheapest kilo? And that is going to be $12.22, under $1,200 out the door. No, thank you. Here's your vintage bar of the day, and this is a Security Metals Corporation. Just a nice little bar. Just secure, and I like their logo. I don't know, it's just very nice. $4.64 plus shipping for that 10-ounce bar for your silver vintage bar collection. Kilo Kook as cheap as $12.96. and minus rebates. How about a lot of 1 ounce rounds? 1 ounce rounds, 37.52, 36.52 out the door. That's about 50 cents over spot for a big lot of 1 ounce rounds. That beats the dealer. Tube of 20 is 37.50, 36.50 out the door. A small tube of rounds beats the dealer. And the cowboy rounds, how cheap are those? They're going for $39.50, $38.50 out the door. And a 100-ounce bar is $37.52, about $36.50 out the door, about 50 cents over spot. And those Englehards are still there, I think. Yeah, there they are, $37.94 for a pressed Engelhard bar. Okay, let's move on to, let's just go to the gold. 1 gram gold as cheap as 124 for a Geiger. And these are out of assay. I believe this is out of assay. Anyway, 124 minus about $4. Pretty cheap for a 1 gram bar if that is what you're buying. Let's see, 1/10 ounce gold as cheap as $3.58 for random gold. And how about something nice? There's a bar. Here's an old random brand. They're showing you a prospector, but it's going to be random. There is a Krugerrand 371, about $3.60 out the door for a 1/10 Krugerrand. Check the prices at the dealers above, see what's better. Okay, let's move on to a 1/4 ounce Gold Eagle. Maybe we'll get lucky, huh? There we go, $8.99 for a 1/4 ounce Gold Eagle. Good seller, good feedback. Oh, it's $9.15 with shipping. Skippy. No, 1/4 ounce Gold Eagles. How about a 1/2 ounce random gold? 1/2 ounce random gold as cheap as... Oh, that reminds me to talk about pre-33. 1/2 ounce Gold Eagle, and it is a good seller, good feedback. And that looks, well, it might be circulated, but looks pretty nice. $17.60 on this one. You'll take about $50 off. You'll be at about $17.10 on a 1/2 ounce. That's $34.20 melt. That's a good price on a 1/2 ounce Gold Eagle. Okay, could be circulated. Not sure about that. I want to move on to, let's just do a 1 ounce Buffalo. 1 ounce Buffalo is cheap as $35.82, about $34.70 out the door. I believe that beats the dealer on the gold Buffaloes. If you got to have a Buffalo on a Gold Eagle, we are going to pay, not a double eagle, okay, a Gold Eagle is different than a Liberty Head. Here is a Gold Eagle for $35.14, 5% off, and it is big seller, pretty good feedback. And that looks okay, 2022. It's got a lot of pictures of it. So $35.14, you'd be out the door around $3,400 on that Gold Eagle. That's about $30-40 over spot. So you can pick up a Gold Eagle this morning. And let's keep going here. How about a Krugerrand? Hard to beat the dealers lately. They've been near spot or at spot on Krugerrands. We got to go up to a full ounce. Full ounce Krugerrand is $35.02, $3,400 out the door. Dealers have better prices on Krugerrands right now than eBay. Okay, and I wanted to move on to pre-33. Did I skip it? Pre-33. There it is right there. So what do we have here? And I have got you with the Double Eagle, Liberty Head Double Eagle, ought to be the cheapest. So people asked how much above spot they ought to pay for a decent looking Double Eagle. This one's extra fine, which is just fine. You can get them graded in the slab pretty cheap right now as well. So 3437. Let's see how cheap this one comes out. 3437 times 0.97, because you're going to use that 3% rebate credit card. 3333 to get the melt on this, divide by 0.9675. It is not pure gold. And you're going to get a melt of 34.45. Now, I would not buy this. I wouldn't pay much more than spot for any pre-33 gold unless it's a high quality, something that you really, really want, something like an Indian head or, the fractional Liberty heads have premiums. The Indian heads have premiums. The St. Gaudens can go for a little more than a Liberty head if it's in good condition. But frankly, I'd be looking for pre-33 around spot, and I would not pay much more than 30-40 bucks over spot for something like this. This is too expensive at 34.45, and it's only extra fine. So look for an AU near spot. Look for a St. Gaudens over a Liberty head, and look for fractional over 0.9675. If you can find it cheap. It's out of favor. The kids don't like this stuff. They want the new stuff. And I'm using the colloquial term kids, I'm just saying the younger generation, for the most part. That probably is not you if you're watching my videos, but they want the pure silver. They want the modern, they want the pure gold. They want the modern gold. The pre-33 Grandpa's gold is just not in favor right now. And that could be an absolute reason to buy it, especially in higher grades. But you might have to wait to get your money back on that on the premiums. Okay, let's do a 50 peso. This is pretty cheap here at 42.10. That's over 1.2 ounces of gold. And, of course, also not pure gold, but just that's a Mac Daddy of a coin. Look at that baby there. And everybody should have one of these. AUBU would be good enough, and that would be big. That will be impressive in your hand. And this has got a $30, $40 premium, I think, when you do the math. So there's something you could buy if you're buying gold today. You could wait for gold to go back down to $33.50 or even $3,000 if you think that story's correct. But that's a nice coin right there. Okay, and we got stuff in my eBay store. Hey guys, if you want to talk to me and you want to get the best discount on my products and ask me for a friend discount, reach out to me through email at losinglouis@yahoo.com before you reach out to me through eBay. eBay they're a bunch of Nazis and they watch all communications, and I can't give you the better discount if you reach out through eBay. But if you reach out through email, I can hook you up. Okay, and here's the bars I pour. Thank you. I'm selling a lot of bars lately. People are buying silver again. Go figure. There's a precious metals verifier. Highly recommend this one, and it's very cheap. There is a vacuum sealer. You definitely need one of those. Very, very cheap. If you want to bury your gold and silver in the backyard, and we'll touch on that on Sunday, you can get one of these fake Dirty Man safes that are like a third the price. Where the heck did it go? Why am I getting comic books? Holy mackerel. Anyway, that link is broken. But there are various ways to bury your gold and silver. This time capsule here is very much like the Dirty Man safe. Very expensive. You can make your own. You can buy these other tubes that can be buried very, very easily. We'll talk more about that on Sunday. Okay, and you can refine your own bars. This is the Devil Forge. It's like 169 bucks and works off a propane tank. You can melt down those big bars and do anything you want with them. I recommend the Amex card. I recommend the PayPal card. I also recommend the Quicksilver card. All good cards. And I'm going to skip the picks of the day and wrap this up and say thank you for watching. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Don't forget the chat room, and don't forget support my work with cups of coffee are greatly appreciated. You can join the Inner Circle, $4.99 a month if you join the Stacker Family membership. Link will be at the top of the description here, and that's how you can get into that and get unlimited access to me, whatever you need. What was I going to say? Also, don't forget to get into the chat room. It's all totally free. Everything here is free. You can subscribe to the website as well. If I see anything really great, I'll send an alert to over 1,000 people that are on that subscribe to my website. And of course, you can give me a thumbs up here. You can send this to a friend that's paying too much for gold or silver. You can subscribe if you want to see it every day, and you can always join the membership. Don't forget the chat room, and I asked similar questions in the chat room here. People, there's a lot going on in there, and you will be happy to find some of the deals these guys are finding. All right, that chat room is for you. That's why I put it there. All right, guys, I will see you later. Thank you very much, and talk to you tomorrow.